Welcome to Makers and Movers, the podcast where we explore the stories and journeys of manufacturing leaders. Today, I have a guest who I've known for a short time, met her recently, and she has such an inspiring story. Her name is Reid, and she is going to tell us about her journey from being a teacher to now the CEO of a manufacturing company. Rylee, thank you for joining us today.
Oh, you're welcome. Exciting to be here.
I actually, my first introduction to Rylee, besides the fact that we met each other in an entrepreneur group, when she introduced herself, she mentioned how her company makes these foot files. It's not just foot files, but that was what caught my attention because I'm always looking for a good foot file and they always seem to fall apart on me or not work. And I'm like, give me your website now. And I immediately ordered one and it was definitely a good buy. I use it every day, and I also got the kit that comes with a shower mat where you can rub your feet. I love that. It's my favorite way to start the morning each day. So I was very excited that Rylee agreed to come on this podcast. So thank you again, Rylee.
You're
So
welcome.
tell us, how did this all come about? Because you were a teacher, weren't you?
I was teaching second grade, and I think I was just having a little bit of a midlife crisis and just wanted something new. And my daughters conned me into starting CrossFit, and I was very hesitant because I really thought it was going to kill me. And then kind of became addicted, loved it, but I would do pull-ups. I was strong enough to do pull-ups, but in CrossFit they do crazy ones where your hand is like going back and forth and it creates a lot of friction, and I would get these huge calluses and they would rip off. It was insane, and
Ooh.
I couldn't find anything to fix the problem, and everybody just kept telling me to file your calluses down, and I couldn't figure out what in the world they were filing with. And finally, one day, like they ripped really bad, and I'm sitting there holding my hands like this, the same way that you grip the bar. And I'm like, I've been filing with my hands open, addressing calluses this way, but that's not the way that I build them. And I, I realized you need to file them the same way that you're getting them. And literally ran home, cut off broom handles, PVC pipe, conduit, wrapped out, like trying to figure out what to do, and came up with my first prototype. And it's just kind of been a wild ride since then. So,
I love that story. So, what
mm,
happened after that? Did you immediately say, I have something here that people are going to want?
yeah, I messed around with it for about a year, tested it. Everybody was wanting one, and I was sick of giving them out for free. And then I just started looking at the possibility, went through the patent process before I went any further to see if it was going to be worth it, if I could even do anything, and got that all taken care of. And then I did a test run and went on the road selling at CrossFit events, and it went really good. Still tinkered around a few years, and finally I just decided I'm not going to get rich teaching second grade. So I just kind of needed a lot of life changes and got divorced, sold my house, my kids all moved out, and started a business. Like, no,
It's a
might as
lot of
well
big
all
changes.
in. Yeah. Yep.
So, how did you figure out how to manufacture the product? How did you decide what materials to use, where to go? Did you have any assistance with that?
A lot of it was just by luck and by taking things apart, figuring out what would be cheapest to ship, like talking about weight, talking about what was going to last the longest, what was going to actually, like, what I could have laser etched, what I could color. And I actually just started looking at flashlights a lot and looking for different ways that I could do it. And I mean, I've been doing this for 7 years, and it's just been in the last 2 that I've really refined everything to where it's a process and I'm not manufacturing all of the pieces, where I just call my guy and we get everything. All that part is crazy. I've, like, with my own hands, probably made over 100,000 sandbars. So,
Wow.
yeah, I'm happy to be out of that process, and, without giving away all the company secrets, everything is so much better now than what it was. I know more about sound particles than I even knew was possible to know about sound particles. But yeah, so it's been crazy.
Are you happy with your decision?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yep, absolutely. I do miss teaching. I miss the fun parts of teaching, but and the security of the job, and there's not the risks in running a business like this is, but
Yeah.
every day I learn something new, I swear, and you know, it's exciting. Definitely never a dull moment, I will say that.
Right. And I know that when we spoke yesterday, you were talking about how you're at that point of just scaling tremendously
Yeah.
and you need more help for your team. So tell us a little bit about that. How did you recognize the fact that it's time to go from a solopreneur with some part-time help to getting some full-time help who are really dedicated and part of a team that helps you grow? How did you make that decision?
Well, when you keep working every night till 11, I'm realizing there's definitely a problem, and just bringing in somebody who is skilled at those things. I mean, part of the entrepreneur thing is we're not so good at the day-to-day, operations type, and I definitely want some relief from that. But I've just been hiring for tasks kind of instead of helping to actually grow the company. And I'm realizing that when I'm just hiring out for tasks, the people, nothing against them, but they're just not invested. To them, it's just this mindless thing that they're doing. And to me, this is my baby. Like, this is my second chance at living life on my terms. And so when you don't take it seriously and you mess things up, I get so upset over something that they had no intention. Like, they just don't realize how much it means. I mean, they always say no one's going to care about your business as much as you,
Yeah.
and I just wasn't even giving them a chance to buy into the company or to buy into really what I want Soundbar to stand for. And so I want somebody who's invested, that this is a part of their life. This isn't just a piece of their life.
Let's talk about what does Sandbar stand for? Where does it come from in your heart?
I kind of feel like it's kind of like that motivated rebel. You don't have to live for this standard. Like, you can go above and beyond and cut through all the BS to get there. So really, that's what Soundbar is. It's a simple callus file, no BS, no pretty, no frolics. It's just, let's get it done.
Great. And it supports pushing yourself physically in certain ways, which I like
Yeah.
as well. It aligns with what you're talking about.
Very much so. And the fact that you're taking your body and you're appreciating what your body does and respecting it instead of looking at callous skin as something negative, understanding how phenomenal it is, really, that this little piece of skin can offer so much protection. So honestly, instead of bitching about it, take care of it. And it's amazing having your calluses, like both on your hands and on your feet, work for you instead of against you. It's amazing what it will do for you.
Now, without giving too much away, do you have any thoughts of the direction you're going to go with the company? Any new products you're thinking about? I know you're a visionary type person, so I assume there's some ideas rocking up in your head right now.
There's too many ideas rocking in my head right now. Um, I remember sitting with a mentor, my very first mentor, Sean, and he sat there and he's like, Rylee, there's going to be other products. And I'm going, no, this was like a one-time wonder. Like, there is nothing else up here in my head. It's like this or nothing. And now, I've already got 4 products on the market and another one, well, 2 more on the way. And yeah, it's crazy how one leads to another. But yeah, it'll be more, it's really not a top secret thing. The foot scrubber mat is the next thing that will accompany the foot file. And most of us with our feet, we just have nasty feet because we don't take care of them. I mean, honestly, how many people really take care and wash your feet? I mean, we all need to be like Jesus. He took care of his feet, We don't. We don't take care of our feet. And so that's one of the biggest indicators of a happy and healthy life, is to be able to move on your feet. And this scrubber mat is brilliant. It just goes in the shower and basically just scrubs all the nasty, gross stuff off of your feet. And just doing that and stimulating all the circulation, you'll be amazed at how much better your feet will feel. And then, file off the excess callous skin and put the salve on, and you just have these glorious feet. And then we're going to create a soap that's made out of the same ingredients of the salve that actually helps to prevent infection, and then it also moisturizes, but it also helps your skin recover and prevents inflammation, all of those things. And you'll just squirt a little bit on your heels, and so just another step for glorious feet everywhere, I guess.
It's interesting you mention about cleaning your feet and that nobody ever talks about that. And it just reminds me, I take care of my dad, who's going to be 92, and a few months ago we were speaking. He had to go through some assessment for insurance company, and there are a lot of questions, and it's usually similar questions to the whole thing. And one of the questions they asked was, "Well, does he clean his feet?" And I was like, well, he showers. And they said, well, does somebody help him to clean in between his toes and to really clean his feet? And I said, I never thought about that. And they said it's very important. And that's one of the things that we look at when we're evaluating the health of seniors. And I said, I don't even think I take time to clean in between my toes. And so it really focused my attention on that. And I did, I have one of your mats in the shower, and so I've been using it. And now that you're just saying this now, I'm thinking I should get one of those for my dad, because that would be perfect for him. So I'm gonna make a note of that. But that's an important thing to think about. So your products are good at any cycle that you're in life, because it's addressing lots of different issues. So very interesting. So let's talk a little bit about, as you're now growing your team, what you're looking for. What is this main hire? Because I know you have one particular hire that you're looking for, a key person to join your team. Talk about, I don't know if you have a title yet for that person, but what would be their role, and what would be their path in the company?
Very much helping me develop the company, like develop the actual, like how we're going to structure all the employees, the job roles, specific job roles, what they're going to do. And if one thing I've learned the last little bit, hiring and having to let go of people, every detail, like ironing out every single detail, like no stone unturned, that just to prevent all the problems. But I want this person to be able to see the vision with Soundbar, that they are invested, and they will be, I mean, they're going to start out really as a glorified assistant that's going to help me organize myself, help me fine tune all of these things that I need, but then help me oversee as we start to grow and help me bring on the right people. So I want this person, I don't really have like a requirement for their education or anything. It's more just about how they work, about how they feel about their job, that they have pride in their job, and not necessarily what they have experience in. I want this person to be very open-minded, very moldable, that they're willing to, one, be patient with me as we try to figure it out. And then also, I live my life outside of the box. It's not going to look like a traditional thing. So I almost think I would like somebody who hasn't really had experience yet.
Hmm. Well, that sounds interesting. Hasn't had experience in operating a business, you're saying, or hasn't had any work experience?
Maybe just somebody that's not so fine, like already has like a role that what they think a typical assistant's going to do. Like it's going to be more of a broad spectrum. So I want somebody who is willing like to look at things differently and also take on things that they haven't taken on before, and help come up with solutions that resonate with the company instead of just how everyone else has done it or how they've done it in the past, if that makes sense.
Okay, so bringing some creativity, some new ideas, initiative.
And some structure, like build it as we go type of thing. So
Now, talk to us a little bit about where you are right now. Where are you running your business, and where do you see it going in the future?
I
Physically?
physically.
Yeah.
I literally run my business out of, I call it a barn, but it just is a commercial building out on my parents' property, actually. And so when I decided to divorce and quit, I sold my house, and that's how I used all the money. We're all self-funded to start the business, and I live in this barn dominium where I also run my business. So just getting ready to like make the physical move, and we've outgrown the barn. It's just time to move on. So,
That's such an exciting time in a
yeah,
business. So you're
yes.
not only looking to add to your team, but you're looking for that team member to come on board and help you make this big physical shift
Yeah.
from where you started the business to a new facility and to grow. So tell us, how do you do most of your sales?
I sell a lot on Amazon. That Amazon pretty much just babysits it. Well, you have to market on Amazon and stuff as well. But ever since COVID, there's such a high conversion rate on Amazon. So that's where a lot of my sales come from. And then everything else is just online. There's a few places that have like the brick and mortar that will sell it, like some rock climbing gyms. Ironically, a lot of CrossFit gyms in the UK sell it, but it's all kind of more boutique style type of facilities that have it. And I'm hoping to change that as we really start to focus on the wholesale end. And with the foot file, especially, we have a lot of podiatrist offices that are starting to reach out because they are needing solutions and really start to target. That's like a whole nother thing that my assistant will help me structure and give me feedback and help me to grow that side of the company as well.
Okay. And what part of the country are you in?
Oh, we're in Utah.
Okay, where in Utah?
Spanish Fork area. It's technically called West Mountain, but it's not even a town. It's just out here in the Tules.
Okay. So in case anybody is interested in your position once you open it up, so they know where it will be located, because my understanding is it will be a hybrid position. So if they're going to help with the inventory and the stock, they have to physically be there sometimes.
Yep, for sure. Yeah,
Mm.
so I'm hoping to be in Spanish Fork area, Utah County in Utah.
Okay, great. What else do you want to share with us? What are some of the biggest challenges that you have had to overcome as you grow your business, or even as you started?
Um, I would say I feel like a lot of it, I always felt like professionals would always know more than what I would. So, for example, when I come with marketers, I have had a long history working with different marketing agencies, and I always wait for them to like write the ads or for them to portray the product how I feel like they would. I mean, they're the professionals. They're the one that do it. But it's taken me quite a few years to realize I do know what I need. I do know I'm the one that knows about my product. It's not a marketer who's also working on 45 other projects, writing product descriptions or trying to speak to the audience. I am my audience, like for the original soundbar. I am why I created it. And so I feel like nobody knows better how to talk to those customers and what those customers want to hear than me.
Yeah.
And I was turning that power over to somebody else because I'm like, oh, I'm not a marketer, and I don't know this and I don't know how to do this, but you do know. Like, I guess it's taken me a while to realize I am the one that needs to do it all right now, which is why now I need assistance because now I know what to do. And with manufacturing and stuff too, making sure that you demand quality, because the first time that you accept anything that is less than perfect, it only goes downhill from there. So that's been a long trial. I mean, I had an order of 10,000 sound bars come that were all done wrong, and I'd already paid for it. It was done. The manufacturer refused to fix it. So I literally had to fix it, like ream the inside and outside of every 10,000 sound bars, reapplying. Like, it's just making sure that you get that quality and demanding that quality, and always do a test product run. Don't just be like, oh, yeah, the samples are great. And now I'm going to order 10,000. Don't do
Mm.
that. you need to do a trial run of a couple hundred to make sure that it's going to be consistent. I think that was a big learning thing that I wish somebody would have told me, and that you have the right to do that as well. That it's your money, it's your product, and there's nothing wrong with demanding what you want.
Great advice. I never would even thought about that, that you have
Yeah.
the right to ask for a smaller test run to see if they're doing it correctly.
Yeah.
Great. So what other challenges have you had over the years?
I feel like they're all challenges trying to figure out how all of it. Right now, I'm just working on the packaging and what that's going to look like. You don't, I have so much more respect for people who have well, any business, but specifically product-based businesses. When you see a price point and you're like, geez, that's so expensive. It's like, you have no idea all the back end of what goes into that and how it is to make money. And um, I think one thing that's been really hard is being patient when customers complain or when they're upset about something, not to take that personally, that it's just that, like, I'm very uh very delicate when I see other products or when I've purchased something. I have a lot more respect and patience and understanding as well for that. That's been a big one for me.
Hmm. That shift of understanding everything that goes into it, and so
Yeah,
then you've been in their shoes.
yeah.
You can do that. Tell me, what about mindset? This was a really big transition for you. It's probably still every day. I know for me, this is my second business, and we've been in business 11 years, and feel like every single hour I have to kind of check in with my mindset and just sort of bring myself up. Sometimes you're way up, and other times you'll have challenge, and then you have to bring yourself back up. Talk to me about yours. I mean, when you had that 10,000 piece order come in wrong, some people would have just said, huge loss, throw it out, I'm just going to give up and go back to teaching. Where did you find it in yourself to put all the hours and effort in? You probably got calluses just from doing that, to redo the product and keep going.
I didn't have a choice. Like, I'd sacrificed everything. And so this was fail or fail. Like, I had to do it. And to me, that, I guess that's one place where I'm fortunate that I don't ever look at anything as the end result. Instantly, before I'm even done evaluating the problem, my mind's already looking for solutions, because there's always going to be one. It's just a matter of finding it. And so, and I always used to, like, when I first started, everything was such an emergency. Like, one bad thing and it was like the whole world's gonna, like,
Yeah.
everything's gonna fall, the sky is falling, and it's just not a big deal. It's just not. Like, there is nothing, everything will be okay. The worst thing you can do is just react and get yourself all worked up, because then you can't function, you can't do anything. And so, I don't know. I think my parents are both hard workers. They just always found a way to get it done. Like, I don't know. I was just kind of raised that way, that, well, you made the mess, you fix it, type of thing. And what I do.
Do you have any entrepreneurs in your family?
My dad started his own business. I remember when I was in third grade, he is a mechanical heating and air conditioning contractor, and he's long since sold his business. But my dad is one of those guys that can build and make anything. And he actually helped me when I was looking at this. I'm like, what all could I do? What do you think I could do with this? And my dad was very inspirational. So, and my grandma, honestly, my grandma Jensen, she is not like an official entrepreneur, but I remember when we were kids, we would go to this canyon and there was this giant rock that you could slide down, and we would all rip our pants all the time. And so she took old Levi's and then sewed like a square patch and then put handles. So we had these little things. And I just remember thinking, I mean, I was young, like probably first or second grade. And I remember thinking how awesome that was, that my grandma just created this thing. And that woman is a serial entrepreneur. She just doesn't know it because she hasn't like worked out. She's a homemaker,
Mhm.
but I've always been inspired by that since then. That if you want something better, then just go make it yourself.
Yeah,
So
I love that. I think
yeah,
that's one of the reasons the podcast is called Makers and Movers, because it's about people like you who just go out and make what's missing, right?
yeah,
And then you move. You take it to the market, you figure out how to make it happen.
yeah. Oh, I never saw that this is where I would be. Never, never in a million years did I think this was where I would end up. But I love it.
Well, good. Well, great. Well, I love all the stories that you shared today. I especially love your one about your grandmother. Thank you for. I'm glad we're kind of ending on that one. Is there anything else you just want to share before we wrap up today?
I heard probably the best advice that I've ever heard from I don't even know who officially said it, but they said that everyone's always the sky is the limit with your business, you know, or anything actually. And they said the sky's not the limit, your mind is. And that has just hit me.
Mm,
And I just think where there's a will, a way, there's a way. So I wouldn't, if you're passionate about something, look at all the ways how you can make it happen, not how it will fail.
thank you. I love that. You're very inspiring, Riley.
Oh,
So
thank
thank
you.
you so much, Riley, for being a guest today. I think you left us with a lot of great tidbits and wisdom and things to know before we get in the business if we're going to be creating a product or even just any kind of business. And
Yeah.
I want to thank our listeners today as well. If you enjoy these inspiring stories from our leaders in manufacturing, please make sure you subscribe and write a review. Keep us going so we can keep hearing more and more of these wonderful stories. Thank you.